Well, what are we doing today? What are we doing in this secret location? Well, welcome to the C.I.A, the Culinary Institute of Asia. Well, today we're going to use the Dave Canterbury grill. I call it the Dave Canterbury grill because it's adapted now with these sticks. Barbecue sticks have been cut short so they fit the grill. I've got my little stainless steel grill net there to hold the charcoal in. Going to show you a new product today. We got, this was really good for $25, the Soto slide gas torch, 1300 degrees Celsius, because it's kind of tight to get in there, and this has got an extendable flame. So this is what you get for $25. It's made in Japan, so it's, you know, it's going to be good quality when it's made in Japan, and it's made by Soto, sparked by nature. So we're going to get the charcoal lighted, but we've also got some other thing to show you, which is I bought 6 of these stainless steel tent pegs from C.I.A. Camp. You could probably find them on AliExpress or somewhere if you look for this style, but it's actually 420 stainless steel. Well, what's 420? Well, that's also known as surgical steel. So I was thinking, what could we use these for? They also have many other functions, of course. They're useful because they're tent pegs, first of all, but they've got these wrench nut 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter, I think, wrench spoke wrenches. But look, it's like a spear. You could sharpen this. So I sharpened this at the end with a file, and now I've got a stick for grilling on the Dave Canterbury grill. I can do shashlick. So shashlick or shish kebabs could be done directly on top without using a titanium grill plate on top. Just use these sticks. Also, you could turn this into a pig sticker. You could tie this to a bamboo pole, and suddenly you've got a spear. You could go spear fishing. And also it's got these kind of barbs on here. You could file these down so they're more pronounced, and then you've got a barbed spear. Hey, how cool is that? So I've sharpened the tips so they're really sharp on these 3, because these 3 can be shashlik sticks, and also they can be turned in 4 ways so that you can get even grilling all around. But first of all, let's test out this torch, see how this Soto slide gas torch works. It comes with some instructions here, all in Japanese, I think, but it's fairly easy to work out. You've got a cap on it, you've got a extendable part, so you can get right into your barbecue or wherever you need an extended flame. This plastic piece is so that you can put it away without burning your hand on the hot metal. I think the instructions say something about don't burn for about more than 30 seconds because everything will get quite hot and it could melt that plastic. And it's got this lock on it. So to push in, you unlock it. To lock it, you pull out. So let's light this up and see how we do. Actually, it's the other way around. Got to pull it out to unlock. Got some fat wood in there. There we go. So push in to lock, pull down, and then cap it. I'll let it cool down a bit. But look at that. Good way of lighting your barbecue. I call it the Dave Canterbury PFM40 barbecue now because we're doing more grilling than using the alcohol burner at the moment. So we'll be back in a few minutes with some shashlik to cook. Yeah, that's going now. Now don't be in a hurry. Give it time to the coals to all turn gray. And today there's a nice breeze, so that it's getting lots of ventilation, the charcoal's going. But here's a little tip. If you've got one of these mini pumps, I mentioned this before in the review of the fish flex tail. Keep calling it the fish tail. Flex tail Max Pump 3. You can actually fan the flames using one of these little little pumps. One of these can get your fire going just fine, and also you can dry your hair with it if you have hair. So we'll give it a few more minutes to let the coals really get going, and then we'll be back. Yeah, with the flex tail, just to show you, you can really get lots of oxygen to the coals, really get it going fast. But we don't need to be in a hurry. We can take our time, and we'll be back once the coals are all ready to grill with. Here's the meat ready to go. Now this is called pork shoulder, and you cut it up in cubes. Now it's looking a bit gray because what you need to do, this has been marinating for a day and a half. So you cut it up in cubes, you add lots of onions. There's like 2 whole onions there to cover it all with lots and lots of onions for flavor. We add some salt, pepper, any spices you like really. You can add smoked paprika would be good, but we're right out of smoked paprika. A little bit of olive oil and water. Oh, and vinegar. Don't forget the vinegar. Now you need a couple of tablespoons of vinegar. You dilute it with a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of water and mix it all together very well. And I add the oil at the end after the meat and the onions have had a chance to mingle. So then we're using our tent pegs. Remember, these are 420 stainless steel. I've sterilized them. G-Bell Camp was the brand. And 6 of these. I got them for the FJ Cruiser for our awning, because you need some good stakes to get in the ground to hold that awning down. But I got these for all of $5. So for 420 stainless steel with these nice barbs on them too, that you could use for spear fishing or whatever once you file those down. I did file down the ends to make them nice and sharp. So the end is sharpened. You can see the meat can slide on easily. And basically that's our shashlick sticks, or shish kebab if you want to call them that. So we'll get these ready to go on the grill once the coals are finished. They're still turning gray. They're not ready yet. The smoke is gone though. Once the smoke is gone, and it means they're getting hotter and hotter, and then once they're nice and gray, then you can grill. So we'll come back in a minute or two when everything's ready. Okay, so the coals are ready. Now there's not a lot of space on top, so you can do one skewer at a time. So obviously you're not going to be cooking for a whole family of 4 using the Dave Canterbury PFM40. However, for 1 or 2 people willing to take their time, you can actually grill quite a few of these skewers and have a full meal for 2 or 3 people. 1 person, perfect. And of course you can use other meats. You don't have to use pork shoulder. You can use pork neck. You can use beef, any kind of cheap beef, because the marinade is what breaks down the toughness and makes it tender. The marinade with the vinegar and the onions together, that's acidic, it's acid, so it breaks down the muscle fibers and makes everything more tender. But you have to marinate it for like a day, day and a half, maybe even 2 days. And you could also use lamb. Lamb would be a perfect skewer like they use in Georgia. They use pork and beef too, in Armenia as well. So this is a very traditional dish for Georgia. And we were in Georgia and we loved the place. The wine is brilliant there. Very inexpensive. Very, very inexpensive wine. Everyone makes their own as well. So if you love wine, go to Armenia and Georgia. They know how to make wine. So we're going to keep an eye on these, and we'll come back once they're ready to eat. One quick tip is you can actually use these skewers to turn it 4 ways, because it stays fixed in that position. Then of course the flat side is very stable, so you can turn it that way. Then you can turn it this way. This normally holds if you get it right. Well, it's not balanced, this one. So then you've got the other flat side. So if you're careful, you can grill all 4 sides if you've got the center of gravity right by evening up the meat. But anyway, you can turn these quite easily into all 4 positions. And you can even fit 2 skewers on. I'm just doing one at the moment. because 2 gets a little too crowded, and with the pork especially, beef is better, but pork drips a lot of fat and then you get lots of flare-ups. So I'm just doing the 1 skewer at the moment. So it's not going to be fast, but if you're camping, it's all about taking your time, and this is nice and quiet, it's peaceful. You can do it on firewood, of course. You don't have to use charcoal. You can get some hardwood from the forest and you can let it burn down to coals and then do your grilling. Just for speed today we're using charcoal, but you can use wood. It's no problem whatsoever, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So the tent peg shashlik are almost all done, and we've whipped up some sauce for dipping the meat, and there's nothing better than whisking some Old Bay seasoning and Cholula hot sauce into sour cream, and then you have a nice dipping sauce. Dave Canterbury's Pathfinder is really versatile. We're finding it's like 10 items in one. Alcohol stove, charcoal stove, Swedish messkit alternative, and later on we'll show you a gas conversion for it. Anyway, we're about ready to eat. We'll get the rest of the meat cooked and then we'll have a feast. There, it took a while, but we've got a big plate of shashlik. What better to go with it than the sauce made from sour cream, Cholula, Old Bay, and nothing better than Georgian wine. This is a very inexpensive wine in Georgia. You can find it in every SPAR supermarket. I forget how much it is. It's about $3, $4 a bottle, but very good. And of course you can get much more expensive wines, but these kind of wines, the ones you find everywhere, are actually really good for the money. So let's open up some wine to have with our shashlik. Today's knife is the Swiss Army knife. This one's good because it's got the built-in corkscrew here, so we're going to be using that. And this is a Wenger knife. There's 2 companies that make Swiss Army knives, Victorinox and Wenger. So this is a Wenger knife, and it's really handy when you need to open a corked bottle of wine. You know it's good wine when it's got a cork. Good wines have got corks. Bad wines have screw tops. So we'll open this up. TbilVino, wine of Georgia. We'll give this a taste test in a second, but yeah, we really recommend this wine. In Armenia they have good wine too. We'll be back in a second. So the meat is all done. Now we can taste it. Let's take a piece of this. We'll dip it in the sauce. How is it?
Good.
Cheers. Let me try this sauce. Tender and juicy, even though it's pork shoulder. And the wine from Georgia. Wow. That is like a good Cabernet Sauvignon from California. How's the dipping sauce? Sour cream, Cholula, Old Bay, black pepper, dash of salt. So Cheers. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And glory to Georgia. Long live Sakartvelo. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment sub to enter our giveaway for 1,000 subscribers. We really appreciate you and wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.